Here's how grades work in this class. 20% of your grade is going to be based on daily quizzes. If you've had me in class before, you kind of have an idea what this is about. They're going to be based on your homework. Your homework, you can have a homework assignment probably every day, maybe a couple of them a day sometimes. These homeworks, you don't turn into me. I don't really care to see how you practice. I want to see results. And so as you do your homework, focus on not just going through the motions. Focus on actually learning what's in the homework. Don't focus on just going through the motions and just getting done. This homework is actually practice for real life. It's practice for demonstrating to me what you have mastered. That's the whole goal here, is mastery of these ideas. And so as you do your homework, always remind yourself that what I'm really doing as I do this homework is I'm preparing myself to take a quiz. So you don't turn it in, you just take a quiz on it. It's something very similar to what you did in your homework, but it'll be different enough that you can't just memorize the answer. We're going to have a unit test. At the end of every unit of study, we'll have a somewhat more challenging than your daily quizzes test. It'll probably take about a class period. This will comprise 30% of your grade. 30% of your grade will be based on these unit tests. And the unit tests are going to be probably something that causes you a little bit of stress. You're going to have to remember some formulae. They're probably going to require you to stretch a little bit, but if you've always understood your homework in all cases, you ought to be able to do fairly well on these unit tests. The purpose of the unit test is to summarize how well you've mastered the entire unit, not just the individual homeworks or the individual lessons that make up that unit. So they're more of a summary thing. Therefore, they're worth a little more. There aren't as many of them, but they're worth more. We're going to do some lab work in this class. This will be worth 35% of your grade. The way you'll be assessed on your lab work is from one or more of the following things. One is a pre-lab test. I may give you a little test that tests how prepared are you to do the work in this laboratory. Did you follow the instructions? Did you read the instructions ahead of time, or listen to the podcast about the instructions, or whatever? Another one may be a post-lab test. After you're all done with the test or with the lab, no matter how well your results turned out, hopefully you've learned something about what we were studying as we did that experiment. And so I'll give you a post-lab test from time to time, and that post-lab test might have some fake data in it that's similar to what you collected in your actual lab experiment, and you'll have to do well on the post-lab test in order to demonstrate that you've mastered the concepts. There may be a simple report that gets turned in. Sometimes you'll have to do an individual one. Sometimes you'll turn one in with your partner or partners, depending on how we divide it up. And then I may insert a portion of your grade, a small part of your lab grade, based on personal performance. Usually this isn't something that's going to help you, but it may be something that hurts you. If you are constantly making it difficult for yourself or other people to learn by bad behavior in the lab, that might affect your lab grade. The last category that goes into making up our grade is the final exam. Final exam isn't worth a huge amount. It's about 15% of your grade. It's open notes and open book if you choose to use a textbook. But that means that it's not going to be easy because you have access to all your resources. It's going to be quite challenging. It's going to be more challenging than unit tests. And in fact, it's going to take concepts from all the different units that you've learned from beginning to the end of the course, and it's going to integrate those together into more difficult problems that test how well did you master all of this and what's your grasp of physics as a whole. So we're looking at, summarizing the whole course with this final exam. So it's going to be difficult. This is the percentage breakdown. This is in your syllabus. It's printed out. It's no mystery. It's also what's standard. It's required. All teachers in the school have the same percentage breakdown. So I just have to show you that.